Hey everyone, Jessiana Seville here from Kidney Nutrition Institute, and I am here with Nicole, our mindset coach. I love every time that I get to bring her on because mindset in a health journey is absolutely, I think, one of the most fundamental parts of success. And every single one of us, no matter where we're at on our health journey or just in our life, we need the tool of, leveraging a powerful mindset to get us in the right place. So, Nicole, thank you for joining us today.
It is great to be back.
Cool. So, Nicole, when we were talking through what we would be doing today, you wanted to do and talk about the topic of self-compassion.
Yes.
I'm just wondering if you can give me just a little bit of the background behind that, the story behind that, and why self-compassion is so important on a health journey in particular.
Yes. So it's interesting because self-compassion involves looking in and treating yourself like you would treat a friend, your child, another individual. And oftentimes we tend to be really critical and hard on ourselves. And we would not speak to ourselves the way that we would speak to a friend.
Yeah.
And what I have found working with clients, particularly on who are going through a health journey and wanting to improve their health, is that they tend to have a negative view of their body. So perhaps, their figure has changed because of their health. Perhaps their body just isn't functioning the way in which they want it to, or a way in which it can be most optimal and beneficial for them. And the immediate self-talk is, this isn't working. Why is my body not, functioning properly? Or why is my stomach distended because of my PKD? Or it could be several different things. And I was recently speaking with a client, and some of those kinds of thoughts came up. And I was really reminded the importance of extending compassion again to ourselves. What's interesting is, as I was speaking with this client, we spoke about just how she chooses friends and what she looks at. And she spoke only about the character and values that she looks in friendships.
Yeah.
She said nothing about their appearance, and that didn't matter to her. And what I asked her in that moment is, how are you then extending that same grace to yourself? And it was a light bulb that went off for her.
Cool. So tell us, so once we can see how we're treating ourselves negatively, why is it so helpful to put us in the spot of switching ourselves around in a health journey so that we can treat ourselves as a friend? Like, what does that drive for us? What does that really change as far as us being successful?
Yeah. One thing I'd like to mention is that your mind is listening to what you say to it. And so when we talk about motivation, when we talk about wanting to change behaviors, feel empowered, feel a sense of pride, a sense of hope, those particular feelings cannot be born from thoughts of negativity about how our body is functioning, even about ourselves. And so once you begin to feed your mind with thoughts of positivity, thoughts of acknowledgement. So compassion is a lot about acknowledging how you're feeling in the moment. And taking a pause and asking yourself what you need. You're not pushing through, you're not ignoring pain or feelings that you're having. It's almost like, I like to also think of it as a hug. Have you ever, just had a day and maybe your partner or a parent or a friend is just like, let me just give you a hug. If you think of like even a hug from like a grandparent or someone who's special to you, that's really what the kind of feelings that compassion can evoke.
I feel like also that can help that spiral that can happen in negative behavior. So it seems like so much in kidney disease, the stakes are so high, right? If I don't fix it, if I don't change my health, then all these bad things will happen. So the stakes feel really high. And so one bad choice without the gift of self-compassion can really put you in this spiral of like repetitive bad choices or negativity, guilt, anger. And so to me, it seems like that kind of breaks that cycle. Because if you have that moment, you're like, it wasn't like I didn't have, it wasn't perfect today, right? I didn't, whatever. I had a hamburger. and suddenly it's like, you know what? I can remove that behavior from perfection and from a downward spiral and just see myself for being a human, and I will get up and I'm going to try the next day, and I can reach out and find answers to my questions. So I don't know. That's kind of my reflection on it. Tell me a little bit more what you think.
Yeah, no, I love that reflection, Jess, because you're exactly right. It helps to immediately break that negative cycle.
Cool.
Self-compassion is completely about recognizing that we are human. We are not here to be perfect. The other part about self-compassion is recognizing that there's a shared experience. So you're not the only one who might be going through this. You're not the only one experiencing these feelings and emotions, right? We're part of a bigger human experience. I think maybe in a few minutes, we'll probably talk a little bit about our communities, but I love that we offer that group, those community groups, for people to really connect and recognize that they're not alone.
Yeah. I know for me and like different problems I've had in my life, when I see people with the same, like they're going through the same struggle, it suddenly makes my struggle seem so much more doable. I'm like, I can do it. I can get through this. And, especially once I've kind of got to know the people a little bit more, then I'm like, oh, like, it's okay. Like, I can dig into this piece and be successful. And, I think that we gain more compassion for ourselves as we're reflecting on the compassion we're having for others. Because you'll hear someone's story and you'll be like, oh my gosh, that was me, right? I struggled with that piece too. I didn't, for example, we use a lot of plant-based diets. I didn't really want to do a plant-based diet, but I felt like I had to. And then someone will be like, that was me too. But like, here's how I approached it. And you start to develop this compassion for like, it's not good, it's not bad, it's just the situation, and it's kind of your challenge for that moment. And you can give yourself the grace that you are there trying. And I think that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Cool. That is great. Well, thank you for joining me today. And for all of those who have watched this today, Nicole is our mindset coach at Kidney Nutrition Institute. When people work with us as a dietitian team, they also get the privilege of working with her. She also helps coach in our communities as well. We do 2 support groups a month. We have a CKD and a PKD community, and she's there to kind of help us drive into reflection and move a lot of our motivation and introspection back into the part of our health journey. So it's not just about food, right? Nutrition really isn't just about food. There's so much that goes into it. And it's great to have you here today, Nicole, to talk a little bit about self-compassion. So thanks again for joining me.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.